welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be looking at making these funky 80s synth chords in Ableton. It's super easy, and I'll also be doing it in Serum for any of you guys that don't have Ableton or any of you guys that don't have Operator either. Yeah, let's get into it. Cool. So, this is what we've got right now. Yeah, let's recreate that. So I'm going to create a new channel with Operator, copy over that MIDI. This is quite similar to the technique that I used in my funky 80s synth bass tutorial, but that was my first tutorial, so I definitely kind of like stumbled over things a little bit, so I'm going to try and go a bit slower this time, be a bit clearer, but yeah, I've had a lot of requests for this tutorial, so I figured I might as well. Yeah, so usually you want to go for like a saw or a square. I'm going to use a saw in this case. Just going to turn it down a little bit. So yeah, I mean the main kind of flavor of the sound comes from at the filter envelope. So this is the this guy here. If we turn this guy up and then turn the frequency down at the filter, which is here, this filter shape here is now starting to affect the filter. This envelope shape, sorry. And that's a bit clicky right now, so I'm going to turn up the attack. That's already quite a cool shape. I mean, yeah, basically it's to your taste what you want to do with this guy, but I find like a more traditional funk sound kind of comes from like not having so much too much high end in it, so I usually have the envelope quite low for that. Something like that. And then the resonance quite high, so you can sort of hear the movement of it quite a lot. So that's already pretty close. Another thing that's quite kind of characteristic of the this 80s funky synth sound is the pitch modulation. And one of the reasons I use Operator for this, and same with the bass sound, is it's just so quick to do it. This is just this button right here. But if we turn it on, you'll hear it sounds pretty shit. So when I turn the rate up, I usually go around like 100 to 112. Bit better, but the amount's too high, so turn that down to about 12. Again, depends on the taste. And you can either automate this, so, or what I like to do is set an amount and then automate this button to turn on and off. So I'm going to press A, that opens up my automation lanes. And yeah, just automate this guy to come on. So we'll turn it off, and it'll put it on intermittently on that chord, for example. Yeah, and that was, I'm selecting there and doing Command D to duplicate the automation. Cool. I might turn up the amount a little bit. Cool. Now I'm just going to stick that in its own automation lane with this little plus guy. Just helps it easier to makes it easier to keep track of. And then I'm going to do a similar thing with this pitch envelope here. So if I turn it right down, you can hear that's pitching from low to high. If I turn it right up, it's pitching from high to low. But I find low to high is the one you want. And turn the decay down a little bit. So now it's gliding up to the note. But yeah, again, we don't necessarily want that every time, so I'm going to automate that to come on and off. I'll probably have it coming on and off at the same time as the bend. Give this guy a little bendy as well. And that's pretty much it for the Operator side of it. I mean, like I say, you can mess around with different wavetables, like say a square. But yeah, I think saw, I guess, pretty close to that classic sound. And from here, it's just kind of like bits of processing. Again, it's up to you what you want to do with that, but I find a chorus is a good place to start. I'm going to send it to a bit of my plate reverb. In case you wonder what that is, it's this Arturia Plate 140, which I absolutely love. Cool. Chuck a glue compressor on there. EQ8. Let's bring out, take out some of those kind of harsh 1K vibes. Add some sheen on the top. Cool. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the operator. Let's try and create a similar thing in Serum. So I'm going to copy that MIDI down again. Get Serum in there. That's another one of my favorite tricks right now, by the way. Command F. You can just search through everything. So say snare, just comes up with all my snares. Just makes things a lot quicker, and you can also search plugins like I just did. So yeah, just a good little tip there. Saves a lot of time. Okay, cool. So Serum, by default, it's already got a saw loaded up, so that's cool by me. Now I'm just going to back off on the master a bit. I'll try and do it in a similar order to what we did with the operator thing, and then we'll go back and change some stuff. So yeah, what I'm going to do is put LFO1 on the filter, so let's turn the filter on. And you've got a bit more options with the filters here, obviously, but you really want like one of these lows, and I think where it's not as harsh, like the 12s and the 6s are a bit more like old school funky stuff. So let's go for that. I've just changed this LFO mode to envelope, so it just plays once. And now this is going to affect the filter. Just play around with this shape a bit. Just going to try some different filters for you. Just hear what it's doing. So these are a bit more of an extreme cut, but let's have it as like 12, maybe even 6. Six is quite good for this because it kind of still gives it some movement, but there's still some high end left in there. Now, to do the pitch bendy guy, I'm going to use LFO2. I'm going to go into the matrix here. We've got LFO2 going to the global pitch or master tune. Let's just turn that up a bit. So you can hear what it's doing there. It's a bit too much. I'm going to put the aux source to the macro 1. So that means, in the same way that we were turning up the amount on the operator, as we turn up the macro, that's going to affect how much the pitch is affected. So there, I just changed the rate of LFO2 just so it speeds it up a bit, speeds up that little bend. So yeah, it's very similar to what we had going before, but instead we're going to be automating the macro this time. So automate that macro. It's a bit too much there. Back it off a bit. Cool. And then if you wanted to do those pitch bends like we had on operator, now that you want to do it in the clips. So in the MIDI clip there, just double click to open that, click this little guy, and then we got MIDI control, pitch bend. And at the moment, if we look at Serum, the pitch bend is here, so it's set to, if we go down, it's going from -2 to 0, and then if we go up, it's going from 0 to +2. So we'll see how that sounds. We might want to make it a bit more extreme. Yeah, come here, you bastard. There we go. Yeah, you can't really hear it that much, so let's make it like, I don't know, 12. It kind of works. Again, all this stuff is like up to you in terms of taste. Just going to change this filter shape a little bit for the envelope, for the filter. Up the unison a bit. And yeah, I mean, as you can tell, like, I find like when I do this with Serum, it tends to be a bit more of like a convoluted sound. I quite like just the way it operates. It seems to just sound more, I don't know, maybe it's just the way I use it. I seem to be able to get more of a concise, clean sound with it. But I mean, again, it depends what you're going for. Like if you want, I don't know, stuff like this, the Serum, it's probably more suited to stuff like house and like more modern sounding shit. So it does have its place. I also find it just a bit more fiddly to set up the Serum version. But yeah, again, it's up to you. I just thought I would show 2 ways of making it so that people that don't have Operator or don't have Ableton can still follow along. Let's have a listen back to the Operator as well. Yeah, it just sounds a lot cleaner to me, but yeah, there you go. That's how I make funky chord synths in Ableton using Operator and Serum. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you in the next tutorial. Peace.